Weekly recall hero bans. So this just dropped from Overwatch. And I also think Freya got nerfed. They dropped a balance patch with this as well, but I don't have that on hand. Anyways, this dev blog was dropped, and it's apparently all info about hero bans and pick rates and ban rates. So let's look at it. So hello, welcome to the Weekly Recall. It's our new blog series in which we'll spotlight a topic close to our developers' hearts, including details on some of the largest changes to quickplay competitive and stadium. Expect data deep dives, design breakdowns, and surprises along the way. Gavin's helping to kick things off with a look into hero ban data. Who's getting the ban hammer dropped on them, and what does that mean? Find out below. The Overwatch 2 team. Hey everyone, we're halfway through Season 16, and want to dive into hero bans data from the last couple weeks provided by our global insights team and servers engineers. Seeing how you have all approached hero bans so far across different platforms, regions, and rankings has been incredibly fun. Are you ready to geek out over some numbers with me? With the data only split by platform, the first graph is PC, the second graph is all consoles. So PC bans across all ranks. Sombra is far and away the most banned character in the entire game. That's looking like a what, 85 give or take % ban rate, maybe. Holy mother of. Number 2 is Freya. That makes sense because Freya is new, but also pretty busted. 3 is Pharah. Actually, a little surprising Pharah is that high. But I know especially like metal ranks, they don't like playing against Pharah because she's hard to hit flying around. Number 4 is Widowmaker. Not surprised because on Widowmaker maps, you can dominate your Havana as your Junkertown, so that's probably where she's getting banned a lot. Number 5 is actually Genji in the DPS category, but that's probably not getting down there too often because if you look over here, tanks actually are getting a lot of bans. Zarya has about a 60% ban rate. Doomfist has somewhere in the neighborhood of 50% ban rate, and Wrecking Ball is looking somewhere around 35%. So you know what I'm noticing looking at this chart right now, like very early on, it is all the
here is some more money.
They are banning all the unethical shit characters, the ones that are not fun to play against. They ruin your experience. Sombra ruins your experience because the little invisible bastard pops out of a tree, hacks you, turns off your abilities. You don't know where it's coming. Zarya, raid boss, runs your team down 1v5, double bubble on cooldown spam, 9 million damage, and also she's really strong at the moment. Runs your team down. Doomfist, people don't like playing against Doomfist because getting punched in the wall 16 million times, either is extremely hard carry hero or an extreme feed character. Doesn't matter which one's which, because if you have the feed character on your team, it sucks. If you have the carry on your team, well, it never feels like you have the carry on your team. It feels like the carry's on the opposite team, so they don't want to play against that. And Wrecking Ball as well, that little hamster is annoying, all right? He just doesn't feel like he ever dies. He's constantly on the run, especially if Sombra's getting banned. Being able to stop him from rolling through your team, probably really difficult to do. Next one up being D.Va. Not that surprising. D.Va's number 4 is a little bit ahead. I bet Console's going to be much higher. That's my guess, without looking yet. But D.Va's like one of those like weirdly frustrating characters to play against. Looking at the rest of them, Mauga and Orisa are kind of gutted at the moment. I don't know actually about Orisa. I don't know. I think Orisa's actually like pretty decent, but I haven't played since the last patch. I played Deltona Stadium, but I haven't played base game. Mauga I know is gutted though. They actually did send his ass to the farm a while ago, which is great. And then look at the rest though. They're pretty much all the ethical heroes, maybe outside of Hog. You know, Queen, Sigma, Rein, all down here at the bottom. Hazard, Ramatra, Winston, all lower. Now let's move over to support. Ana's actually the most banned. Not that surprising, because Ana's probably the most frustrating to play against, although I don't think anyone wants like Ana changed or removed. Like, I'm not saying that, but like 5v5, Ana Nade gets so much value, Sleep gets so much value, Nano's a really good ability. Mercy actually being number 2 most banned is hilarious, because if you would have looked at the internet in somewhat in the last month, you would have thought that Mercy players were being nailed to a cross. Because for some reason, everyone was like, had this conspiracy that everyone was banning Mercy every game to like ruin the Mercy player's experience. The data does not seem to back that. Don't get me wrong, second most high. But at least looking at the data for PC so far, you would have expected it to be much, much higher. But we'll see. There might be more data for that as we get going. That could be a little bit of an early take. Looking at the rest though, Zen's annoying to play against as a tank player, understandable. Moira, Moira being that high is a little interesting. Kiri's just kind of frustrating sometimes. And then look at all the quote, ethical, honorable characters that are like, people are fine with being meta these days. Weaver, Brig, Juno, Lucio, Alari, Bab. All of these are not problem characters anymore. Wow. You know, can we ever appreciate how much of a glow up Brig had over the years? Like, you know, she went from being the most oppressive character in the game to like, she's pretty healthy these days. I gotta give credit. They did a pretty good job with it. I still think the rally bash stun is kind of annoying. That shit's kind of ass. I don't like that still, but everything else is really, really good. Anyways, let's keep it moving. Sombra leads the PC pack with an impressive 85% ban rate, followed by Zarya at 59%. Wow, it's even higher than I thought. And Doomfist at 43%. On console, Sombra is banned even more with a 93% rate. She's followed by Zarya at 57% and Symmetra at 23%. Holy shit! Console players said her Sombra. 93% ban rate of Sombra on console. Zarya is number 257, not that surprising. I thought D.Va, actually D.Va is higher. D.Va is much higher banned on console than she is on PC, so that actually tracks. Mauga, dude, what? Wait, console might be based. Dude, look at the console bans. Zarya, Ball, D.Va, Mauga, Doom, Orisa, Hog. Then a big jump, Ramatra, smaller jump, Rhine, Winston, Sig, Junker Queen has. Yo, console players might be actually like the most ethical gamers. Dude, I love their bans. Their tank bans are sick. Oh, you know, I might have to take back what I was talking about the Mercy thing earlier. Apparently, it is true. It just was on console. My bad. The PC Mercy bans was not real. The console Mercy bans was actually real. I apologize for my previous statement. I did not get to console yet. Maybe there was actually a little bit of a targeting on that one. On PC, our newest hero is dashing through the wind to catch up to the pack, earning a 27% ban rate. Freya's ban rate by day is climbing steadily. Freya's ban over time on PC started around less than 10% and is now up to about 40% of the time. This is a great example of why they always start heroes as on the safe side of strong, because they want to give people time to learn them and then they tune them back over time. There's an argument to be made that they probably should have been a little bit harsher at mid-season with Freya nerfs, but I also understand that they like want to keep the new season, like the new character strong for the whole season. She's remained at a pretty low ban rate on console though. Oh my god, console ban rates for Freya was like what, like around like 3 to 5%, and now it's like barely hitting 10%. Also, looking at console ban rates again really quick, do you notice something very interesting? Look at this really quick. Symmetra is the third most banned apparently, although they said Symmetra 23, but it looks like Ball is higher. Am I crazy for that? Maybe it's like about the same. And then Torb is down here a little bit higher, like, you know, maybe 10-ish%. What was it on PC? Yeah, like probably not even cracking 5. And then Symmetra, yeah, probably not even cracking 8, 10. But on console, the turret heroes go crazy. All right, let's come down here. The least banned hero on PC is Baptiste at 0.16%, and the least banned hero on console is Hanzo at 0.24%. That's very interesting. There are some big differences based on rank. Here's what the graph looks like for PC at Masters and above. So Masters and above PC, Freya is the most banned far and away. D.Va, the most banned tank. Zarya number 2. Ana far and away the best or most banned support, followed by Zenyatta. Interesting. Mercy number 3. Not that surprising Mercy's number 3, just because Freya and Sojourn both are really, really good. So I understand maybe like they want to like, if they get rid of the damage boost, that would probably make it a little bit more fair. Sombra's still at a solid like 43% or ban rate though. Although PC is much better at, or sorry, Masters above is much better at dealing with Sombra. They just don't want to play against her. Pharah actually higher ban rate, I think, than overall by a significant margin, actually. It's over 20, maybe 25%, then Widow around 20%, then Sojourn, Cast, Tracer. Very, very interesting, actually. Here's what they look like for Console Masters Plus. So Console Masters Plus hates Sombra more than anything. Almost 80% ban rate. Widow is next at 25-ish %. Then Sojourn, Tracer, all very close for third. Then it's a big drop off to Cass. D.Va, there it is. So I said earlier that I thought D.Va was going to be far and away the most banned on console. There it is. Masters and above, console D.Va has what? Like a 65 to 70% ban rate? Almost as high as Sombra. That is crazy. And then Mercy's actually the third most banned. Yeah, so console Mercy is actually getting hard banned. So I guess a lot of the online sentiment around Mercy getting banned a ton was probably from console players. Interesting. Sombra is banned more often by console players, even at the highest ranks, but she isn't as highly regarded on PC. While overall Zarya is the most banned tank, when we look at Masters and above, D.Va handedly steals the most banned slot for tank on both console and PC. Ana is the most banned support hero on higher ranks than PC, while Mercy is the most banned hero on console. Zenyatta also seems to see more bans on PC than he does on console. Zenyatta bans, I believe, is mostly just people do not want to play against, what's it called? Against Discord Orb. It's so shit. Nobody wants to deal with that. You know what I mean? How do hero bans look in different regions? The following charts show the rates for Masters Plus role queue, where the biggest differences appear and have the largest population among high MMR players. Every region has the same most banned hero in each role, Freya, D.Va, Ana, but there is some nuance. EU and the US worry about Mercy and Wrecking Ball, but Korea mostly ignores them. Korea bans are much more polarized, where fewer heroes get a majority of the bans. The EU and US ban Sojourn pretty often, while she's ignored in Korea. So Korea Masters Plus bans. Freya far and above number 1. Sombra, number 2. And then Pharah, number 3. For tanks, far and away D.Va, then Zarya, then Doom. And then, oh my god, look at the support ones. Ana and Zen. Far and away. Dude, it's so much. Dude, look at this. It's crazy. The difference between the third most banned hero in Korea and the fourth most banned is Pharah at 25% ban rate to Widow at what? Like sub 10%? And then for support, the second most banned hero on support role is Zen, around a 30% ban rate. Meanwhile, the third most banned support is Brig at like, what? An 8%, 7% ban rate, if that? Holy shit, they all agree. Like, they literally all agree on what to ban. That's crazy. Europe region Masters Plus bans. Freya far and above the most. Pharah and Sombra are tied for number 2, give or take. That's not surprised. Pharah's loved on EU. They love to play Pharah over there. Widow is close to number 4. Sojourn's number 5. This is actually the most EU bans I've ever seen, actually. Like, if I had to close my eyes and tell 5 characters I think that are banned a lot on EU, that would have been my 5. D.Va most banned by far. Wrecking Ball number 2. Zarya number 3. And then support's actually a little more interesting. They ban Brig a lot. They ban Kiri a lot. Huh. And then America's Masters Plus bans. We've already kind of looked at this one already. Tank ones are very interesting. It kind of is very even except for D.Va Zarya, which again, D.Va Zarya are like the 2 most like clunky tanks in 5v5. Like, they're either oppressive or they suck. Because they're 6v6 design heroes. Freya number 1 by far. Widow actually ends up being number 2. Then Pharah, Sombra, Sojourn. Very, very interesting. All right. Another important factor to consider with hero bans is that players don't just ban heroes at different ranks. Don't just ban different heroes at different ranks. They also ban different numbers of unique heroes based on rank. There's more alignment between players about which heroes should be banned at higher ranks. At Grandmaster, the average team tries to ban 4 heroes. At Bronze, the average team tries to ban 6. The damage roll has the most disagreement upon heroes to ban, followed by tank and then support. At Grandmaster, all three roles have very similar ban rates, which aligns with data we've discussed in the past that implied that all three roles have similar impact at the highest ranks. I know no one from Rivals will see this. I know you don't like Overwatch. I know a lot of you guys don't. I know you don't. But when we've talked about in the past how every role is important, a game that's been around for 9 years has a lot of data, and especially at the highest ranks, they've had this idea for a long time that all roles have equal impact at the highest ranks. That is pretty true. All roles matter. Important. Anyways, moving on. Ban variance by rank. What's this? Okay, let me read this. We know that with one of the biggest questions you'll have is, now that we have all this data, what do you plan on doing with it? They say it's up here? Oh, I understand. So like the lower it is, the less variance there is. Okay, so like up here is like how many heroes are banned per, like they're trying to ban per game. This is 6 per game. Down here at Grandmasters Plus, like people are much more aligned. Like everyone pretty much agrees on what characters should be banned. So the same 4 characters are getting banned almost every lobby. Bronze, they can't agree on anything. So it's like a variance of 6 versus a variance of 4. I understand. Okay, I get what the data meant. That's actually very, very interesting. What are you gonna do with it? In talking with our hero designers, they explained that they have found that the data we've collected so far is very interesting, and will be using it in the future to help inform balance changes. Heroes that are more niche or map specific may need to become more generalized if they're always banned where they perform well. Heroes that are very unpopular might see more adjustments regardless of performance. Ultimately though, there aren't any specific changes in the works based on the data yet, and the hero ban data alone would never dictate how heroes are balanced. Okay, not alone, but speaking to this system itself, we're happy with how it works overall. We believe the system is meeting most of its goals, and we're excited to see how hero bans evolve over time, especially once we start releasing more data about our hero win rates and pick rates in the future. One way that we're considering changing the system is to add a feature to preferred hero that would allow to act as a tiebreaker. Around 42% of all games since we launched the feature have had 7 to 5 vote ties. A player's first choice is worth 7 votes, and a player's second choice is worth 5 votes. That means it's common for multiple players to be voting for different heroes, and for us to have to break ties randomly, which isn't awesome. As you can also infer from the ban variance data above, that's a lot more common at lower ranks where there's less alignment on who you'd vote on. So the feature we're considering adding is making each preferred hero choice worth 1 negative vote. Oh, 1 vote isn't much, since each player technically has 15 votes if you total all 3 choices. This will mean that if multiple heroes are tied for a ban, the hero that isn't preferred by any players will be banned. This negative vote would never count twice, such as if 2 damage players preferred Widowmaker. These negative votes will also never apply to the other team's votes. Let us know what you think of this idea and keep sending us all the feedback on hero bans. No. Sorry, I don't know about that one. I get what they're going for. Is preferred hero public? Because like, what if you're trying to ban Widow and you have Widow as a preferred hero, right? And your team's banning Widow, and it goes up to a random, or it goes up to a tie. It has you as preferred, and so it keeps that ban from happening. Then we're like, what the f? We didn't get Widow banned because you preferred that hero. It's better than random, yes. Is it though? So your Widow gets to play Widow? So one guy gets to say to everyone else's votes, no. So if like everyone else is trying to vote this one thing, it's only in a tie. Yeah, but then they still get to have say. They still get to tip the thing in their favor. Honestly, I think random is better because it's like, well, it's just the system. The system just chose it. I could see a world where if somebody hovers or prefers a hero like that, and they hover it, and they're like, whoa, 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 why are you hovering that? Like, we're trying to ban it. And then if it doesn't get banned, people are gonna get mad. But if 4 people on your team vote to ban Widow, she'll be banned. Well, if everybody's doing the bans in the correct order, yeah. But also, there's also a max of 2. So, let's say your team puts up Sojourn and Widow. Sojourn in the first slot, Widow in the second slot, and the other team bans first, and they banned Hanzo, right? You can only ban 2 of one role per game. So when it switches to your team and it goes Sojourn then Widow, right? It will take Sojourn over yours. So I don't know. The random pick ban system in Rivals has traumatized me. The amount of games I've lost to one rando ban in a troll pick. But this isn't one rando ban. It's just like one negative vote. At least this would encourage one tricks to actually prefer their hero instead of being like, but I blank one trick and I can't play anything else. Would it do that? I don't know. I mean, you make a good point. I'd be open to trying it. But then again, though, it just, I don't know. To me, it feels like the classic, like, we're gonna overcomplicate the out of this thing, to the point where then people just don't like it anymore, which is a Blizzard classic if you've been around for a long time. We can all say like but like, you know, and be like, fine, I'm down to try other shit, and maybe it's just a side effect of being around for so long and seeing it happen so many times. Like, you want to try it, go ahead, try it. But I actually, like, I don't get frustrated if it randomly, if we all vote for something. Let's say we have 15 votes on something, and then someone else has 15 votes on something else, and it just randomly picks one. Like, I don't get mad at that. I'm like, all right, it's whatever. But knowing that we could have got something banned in a 50-50 shot, but we didn't because one of our players hovered it instead, is just dumb, you know? And, you know, you say it's like, well, then your Widow gets to play Widow. Yeah, but like, what if our Widow is Billy Bob 16, and I know their Widow is Kevster on an alt account, and I'm like, yo, we're not playing against that, and it doesn't matter, he's already preferred his hero for Widow, and we're trying to ban it, and we get a tie with their team, and Billy Bob was hovering Widow, and so we lose the ban. You know what I mean? I can see like little scenarios where that's gonna suck. So you could tell your team to hard ban Widow. First off, that's assuming 1, everybody's gonna listen. 2, half the time, by the time everyone's already made their selections, it's lock them in so fast, it's GG. So you can always have a whataboutism. Like, genuinely, there always will be a whatabout. And I think the random is better. I think the randomness is honestly more interesting than the hero hovering. And those times where it does end up happening, it'll feel like shit. That's, hey, if you don't agree with it, that's fine. But I'm not changing on that one. Systems like bans in our upcoming map voting feature, which launches in Season 17, are constantly improved by your feedback because we're making a great game together. Also, don't forget to check out our next drive starting on June 19th. If you're still reading this after surviving this tsunami of data, may your wins always be uphill battles and your losses consolations. Oh, man. Oh, I mean, like, and also, too, like, on the topic of just telling your team to do anything, I mean, I don't know how many of you guys still play or have watched, like, a lot of people play Overwatch, but, like, people don't even ask people to swap anymore because half the time if you ask someone to swap, like, they're gonna get mad. So, like, people just don't even, I don't do it anymore. I never ask people to swap, even if it's, like, the right thing to do. Because, like, one, sometimes their pick will just work better. And so, sometimes we'll get in a game, and someone will be like, oh, if that person's, like, playing something you don't want to play, just ask them to swap. It's like, nah, it's actually more worth to not do that and to just shut my mouth. So, this is one of those examples where I think I like the game kind of dictating it a little bit more than putting it in players' hands. Like, if we the bans, that's on us. That's the way I look at it. But yeah.